Channel 15, your public access station, and you are looking at beautiful St. Peter's Field as we have a couple local teams getting set to play each other today in varsity baseball action. MSJ, of course, out there defensively with Will Haddock on the mound in those gray uniforms and green trim. Taking on Poultney, the Blue Devils, making the 20-minute ride up to Rutland, and should be a good ball game. And that'll be a strike call at the plate. Will be Ryan Davenport, then Nick Pryor will bat number 2, and Kurt Hughes will bat in the third spot. Haddock, obviously a left-handed pitcher for the Mounties, has done extremely well this year, and he is looking to continue that trend as you'll fool him on the breaking ball after starting off with the fastball, and he'll be up in the count 0-2. Defensively for MSJ, you have Ryan Carter behind the plate at the catcher spot. Bill Scholdice is at first. Colin McCormick is at second. Ryan Gilbert is at short, and Mike Sorelli is at third, and that's put into play, and that's going to be Sorelli on the grass, and got him. Nice scoop over there by Scholdice on a very slow hit ground ball. They're able to come up with the play and get the first out of the ball game. And as I'd mentioned, now the left fielder Nick Pryor is up. So his first bat, obviously, with Hughes on deck, and Owen Teeter is the cleanup batter if they get that far in the lineup. And again, it's a cloudy day. I don't think we have to worry about rain at all. It's probably about 59 to 60 degrees outside. A slight breeze blowing, and shouldn't affect play right now in this portion of the ball game. And that came inside, and you can see the movement on that pitch from Will Haddock. And obviously a ball, so it'll be one ball, no strikes. MSJ, kind of a, I'd say you have to say they're a home field team. Swing and a miss for a strike, 1-1 to count. As they have defeated MAU here at St. Peter's Field, Brattleboro here at St. Peter's Field, and Hartford here at St. Peter's Field. But then on the road, they will have leads against MAU and Brattleboro and end up losing those games late innings. And those are games they really need to win. Those are MBL games, and that's a swing and a miss and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 1 out, nobody out, and we're in the top of the first. Poultney at the plate, MSJ in the field. I'm giving you the defense already, and we'll just remind you the battery is Willie Haddock and Ryan Carter out there for MSJ. Yeah, it's going to be up and over the backstop and onto River Street and stay with a 2-strike count. Again, Poultney's complete order. We already mentioned Davenport, Pryor, then Hughes on deck. Teeter is the cleanup hitter. Scott Williams batting 5. The pitcher, Chad Woodruff, is in the 6th spot. Michael Crandall's in the 7th. They're going to have a DH. Nate Loomis batting the 8th spot, and now Will Bergen will be the number 9 hitter. So looking for that second out of this inning. He went to the curveball, and Haddock on the mound, now on the grass, will make the catch himself, and it'll be 2 down on that little infield fly. And Kurt Hughes late getting to the ball game, but got here just in time, be inserted in the lineup. Of course, his father's the head coach, Rob Hughes, and Kurt had played a couple seasons for Glenn Carter when Carter had the Rutland County Royals, so a lot of familiarity between all these teams. There's a couple other players on both sides that had played for the Rutland County Royals, and that pitch sailed outside, and that'll be a ball. He was a very good hitter. They got him in that number 3 spot. He'll be the shortstop defensively in the bottom of the first when Poultney will take the field. MSJ with a busy week. 3 games this week at St. Peter's Field, and that'll be a strike at the knee. So I expect to see Haddock go as many innings as he can today. Look for Sorelli on Wednesday and then Carter on Friday. Of course, that can all change with just a couple bad innings here and there, or a rain out, or an injury. So the 1-1 count. He'll drop the curveball over the outside corner and make it a 1-2 count. Looking for a 1-2-3 first inning. He is a senior left-handed pitcher for the Mounties. He's induced a ground out, got a pop out, and he's got a 2-strike count now on Hughes. And he held up through the changeup. It sailed outside on him, kind of floated actually, and then he was able to hold up, and that'll leave an account up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, MSJ coached by Glenn Carter. And he'll look in there, and Willie will. Gets the sign, and they'll set up on that outside corner with the catcher's glove, and this time he might not have held up. He'll tag him, and I'm waiting for the call. Nope, they'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he held up on the swing on a breaking ball, and he'll now work it to a full count at 3 balls, 2 strikes. So a pretty disciplined at bat here for Hughes, able to hold up on a couple of close pitches. And see if Haddock will just come back with the fastball now. He will. It'll skip in the dirt, and Hughes will draw a walk with 2 down. So they do get to the cleanup spot. The third baseman, Owen Teeter, up, and Hughes with good speed down at first base, so there's always a threat of a steal or a hit and run here. They're going to have Scholdice hold the runner on defensively. And Sorelli at third base about 4 feet behind the bag. That'll come in high for a ball. Haddock for most of the season now, I've only seen the home games, of course, but when he has pitched, he's had pretty decent control. Not a lot of problem with walks. He retired the first 2 batters pretty easily. Hughes with a 3-step lead off the bag at first, and Haddock will come to the plate, and that is going to be playable. Cussell will come in now about 7 steps and make the catch. They'll send 4 batters to the plate. They'll strand 1 at first, and we'll go to the bottom half of the first inning scoreless. That's Chad Woodruff out there for Poultney, number 8, with his back to the camera, as he has Colin McCormick to contend with here, the leadoff batter for MSJ, and that pitch will be right there. That was a good pitch, and I'll make it a 1-1 count. First pitch was a bomb. We're going to have McCormick, Ryan Gilbert, Ryan Carter, and Bill Scholdice do up for MSJ. Or the possibilities of getting to that 4 spot. And the big, tall, right-handed pitcher that time went with a breaking ball, and it floated outside, and we'll have a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Defensively out there, Mike Crandall at first base. Ryan Davenport plays second. Kurt Hughes is your shortstop. And that is going to be out of play. At third base is Owen Teeter. In left field is Nick Pryor. Will Bergen is in center, and Dick Ferguson is in right. And you know, I'm not sure if that's Bergen or Bergen. I should check on that, actually. And I will try to. You think I'd done that before the game, but I didn't. Oh, just missed inside. Well, he wrapped it around the plate, didn't nick the corner, and we'll have a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Full count here to the first batter in the MSJ lineup, and Woodruff looks in, gets the sign, and the target set up on that outside corner. Just missed high and away. So McCormick will be on first base via the walk, and I'll bring up Ryan Gilbert. I don't think it'll take Coach Carter very long to get his aggressive running game going here, especially with a guy like McCormick over at first base. Crandall will hold him on defensively. Williams behind the plate doing the catching. All set there, and from the stretch now, Woodruff will throw to first base, and the runner will get back about a 3 or 4 step lead that time off the bag over at first for McCormick. So a relatively conservative lead right there. Probably wants to get familiar with the pitcher's move to first and kind of get the timing down on him. Yeah, it took 1 pitch for that, and that's a good throw, and they got him. They got him. What a throw, what a tag. Williams with the throw down, and the tag applied by Hughes at short. And I tell you what, that was a beautiful job by both the catcher and the shortstop. And they got a very speedy base runner. He took a perfect throw, and I'll tell you what, Scott Williams with an impressive throw. And Hughes coming from a shortstop spot. That's tough to say. Even sober, shortstop spot across the field, and that will be called for by the center fielder, and Bergen will make the catch. And I'll go with Bergen until I can holler down to him and ask him. And like I said, it's something I probably really should have taken care of earlier, but then I got socializing. You know how I get chatty. And so 2 down now, and he's got a chance to have a 1-2-3 inning because of the throwing runner out trying to steal. And Ryan Carter up with nobody on base, which means you can be a little more fussy when you pitch to him. And that won't get the benefit of the call. That'll be called a pitch outside for a ball. So Carter with a 1-ball, no-strike count, and that one moved it in a little bit and got the call there. It's the same pitch, but again, he moved it in about 6 inches and nicked the plate for a strike call, and Carter with a 1-1 count will not get fooled on that breaking ball. He was able to hold up, just like Kurt Hughes was able to hold up on a few of those Haddock breaking balls in that first inning. I'm just adjusting my eyepiece here. And that'll be outside. So we'll run it to a 3-ball count. Like I said, with 2 down and nobody on base, you can afford to be a little picky with what you throw Carter here, because he's always a threat to take the ball a long distance out of the yard. And this could be the inning right here, and fighting a little bit of the wind, they'll make the catch, and that will be the inning, and that will be, well, I have it as Ferguson, even though that's not the right number, but I'll check out the book, and that's going to be a scoreless first inning. So Haddock will be looking at the catchers, Scott Williams, Chad Woodruff, and then Michael Crandall all do up here for Poultney in the second inning. Each pitcher allowed a base runner in that first inning. Each pitcher walked that base runner, and neither pitcher got hurt by it. Rhodes and, oh, no communications. Yeah, had Gilbert, Rhodes, and McCormick there, and nobody made the catch, and nobody made the call, so that will go as a base hit, believe it or not, yep. So Williams, with a little help from the MSJ outfielders, was able to get on first base. Now Chad Woodruff up. And Woodruff will force Haddock here to face him from the stretch. And that's a great pitch. That's a strike called. And again, Scholdice will hold the runner on down at first base. McCormick's at second defensively. Gilbert is at shortstop. And Sorelli is at third. Ryan Carter's behind the plate to do the outfield in just a sec. Runner back safe. The thrower there from the lefty. Haddock, you have Ladabush, Rhodes, and Cussell. That is the outfield for MSJ. We're in the second inning. Game zipped right along through the first inning. No score here in the second. Poultney with the leadoff runner on base. We'll see what Coach Hughes wants to do as far as creating manufacturing some offense. And tell you what, Williams was kind of leaning towards second and then made the dive back to first. Obviously he was safe, but he might have been hedging towards second base. Don't forget Williams over at first was the catcher, made that great throw to get the runner McCormick out trying to steal second base. So he did it defensively in the bottom of the first, and he started things off here in the top of the second offensively for Poultney. Obviously they're in the blue uniforms. The Blue Devils out there taking on the Mounties on Munger Vision on Channel 15 Sports, PEGTV. And Will Haddock will try and find his rhythm here in the second inning. Again, that breaking ball broke, but came about a foot and a half short of home base, so that'll be a 1-2 count here. Like I said, Williams, Woodruff, and Crandall, with Woodruff at the plate. If they do get to a fourth spot, it'll be, I have it down as Ferguson, but we'll have to wait and see. And that is fouled right out the catcher's face mask back to the screen, and Ryan Carter's okay. He'll hustle back and get that baseball and toss it back out to his senior pitcher. And again, MSJ outfield playing very shallow right now. As Woodruff had a good inning pitching in the bottom of the first, trying to help his guys out here offensively, and he has good discipline right there as he lay off that pitch, and that'll make it a 2-2 count now. So very impressed with the Poultney batters through just a little over an inning of play here. They have shown discipline in not chasing balls out of the strike zone. Tell you what, he brought that pitch up and put it right on his fist, and little rising fastball, and Woodruff couldn't catch up to it, and that'll be the first strikeout of the ball game for Haddock, and also the first out of the second inning. Now Crandall up. And obviously a right-handed hitter. He's the first baseman defensively, so there's one out, one on, and again, only about a 3-step lead off the bag at first, and that pitch called a strike. I believe, yeah, that's Vic Regenbald behind home base calling balls and strike. Craig Pettis is the umpire doing the bases on the field. And it's a comfortable day. It's a little bit cool, and that could be at least one. Nope, there might not be up nothing, yep. He's very fortunate. Gilbert was very frustrated with himself, and he threw the ball to first base, and he should have just ate it. He's very fortunate. Scholdice scooped the ball up and out. Yeah, he was trying to rush, thinking about that double play possibility. And I'm going to go with Loomis because I have a DH down. I forgot about that. So Loomis should be at the plate, number 10. And if I can see his jersey number, I can confirm that with you. So Poultney trying to take advantage of an MSJ. Couple miscues. The fly ball, you'll say, wasn't caught, wasn't a miscue, but it was a miscommunications because the ball was very catchable that Williams hit. Fell between 3 MSJ fielders, and then that error by Gilbert. So that's where Haddock has got himself in a pickle right here. With runners at first and second, and the one out. Sholei's obviously not holding the runner on with runners at first and second, so. And that'll be too low, and it'll be a ball. It was below the knee, caught the plate, but was low, and that'll make it a 1 ball, 1 strike count. And on top of the second, this game's scheduled for 7. And again, I like it when we get teams that both get channel 15. And even though the new online service channel 15 has, and it's for channel 15, channel 20, and channel 21, but it's video on demand. You can just go to the website at PEGTV.com, click on video on demand, or on a talk show or a game or a parade or anything, and watch a programming right at home on your computer. So I mean, that's another new way to enjoy public access, is right on your computer. You can also still go to that website, get all kinds of other information, like the scheduling for the television portions of things. Yeah, they're going to get just 1 out of this, and that's all they really should have gotten, because anything else would have been a risky option. They want to get that definite out. Runners do move up to second and third, but there are 2 down now. And Will Bergen due up, the number 9 hitter in the order, which means if he can get a base hit or get on base or whatever, they will send the top of the order back up. And again, like I said, when he comes out to take his warm-ups defensively in center field, I'll try to get his attention and see if it's Bergen or Bergen. And that will be a ball. So in this inning here, a couple misplays, but Haddock has also been behind in the count to some of the batters. Willie's a good pitcher, though. When he finds his rhythm, he's very, very good. That's a great pitch. So with second and third, Poultney really trying to cash in here in the second inning on the road and get the lead. That beautiful St. Peter's field. That just had some pure old, good old-fashioned heat on it right there. Nothing too fancy about that. Just reared back, Willie did, and let the pitch fly. So Haddock with 2 strikes now. It does have a strikeout in the ball game. It happened in this inning. He got his counterpart, the pitcher for Poultney, Woodruff, on a strikeout. Oh, Skin sent the rise fastball in there, and it just elevated out of the strike zone. Couldn't get the batter to chase, but it's okay. He's at 2-2 in the count, so if he wants to get fancy here, the pitcher still dictates with a 2-2 count. And Willie Haddock will get the pop-up, and Rhodes this time coming way in will make the grab. That's the out. They'll strand 2, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless at St. Peter's Field. And Woodruff's first pitch to Sholeice here in the bottom of the second of a scoreless ball game will be a strike. And I did get the center fielder's attention, Will Bergen, out there, and he did say it's pronounced Bergen with a hard G. So I got a lot. I'm French, so I thought maybe it was like the Canadian version, but it's Bergen. And he couldn't hold up on that, and he will go for a strike on that. So Sholeice, Haddock, and Sorelli, the 3 MSJ batters, due up here to face Mr. Woodruff. I tell you, and he's just missed a couple times with that particular pitch right there throughout the contest. And again, he did have a walk in the first inning, but they threw the base runner out trying to steal, and that was McCormick, of course. And so he only faced 3 batters in that first inning, and that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes, but it will be a ball. And it'll also make it a 2-2 count. But he has had a 1-2-3 first inning. And Sholeice, good patience, good discipline right there. Will work it to a full count after being down 0-2. And I'll set that defense for you for Poultney in just a second. And that'll be fouled off. That was a good pitch and a good job by the batter with 2 strikes to stay alive. And tell you, Mike Crandall's at first base. Ryan Davenport plays second. Kurt Hughes is at short. Owen Teeter's at third. Dick Pryor is in left. Will Bergen is in center. And I have it as Dick Ferguson in right field. The catcher is Scott Williams. That will be the second time in a row that the leadoff batter has walked against Woodruff. Now I'll bring up Willie Haddock now. So Sholeice down at first base, and Haddock. He likes to hit behind Sholeice. Sholeice gets on base a lot. Haddock, a left-handed hitter, and with Schuldeis on at first, they're going to play the first baseman holding the runner on, which means there's a bigger gap right there for Willie to pull the ball through. And tell you what, Willie was just trying to do that right there, pull the ball through that hole through first and second, and he swung through it for a strike. So for the second time in today's ball game, had Woodruff that's going to pitch from the stretch. He'll look into Williams, get the sign, and is set to deliver. That's going to be fouled off. So Woodruff will get up in the count 0-2 again now. He was up 0-2 to Schuldeis and lost him on the walk. He's up 1-2 to Haddock. And like I said, the right-handed hitting Mike Sorelli on deck for MSJ. We're in the bottom of the second. We're waiting for the game's first score. Poultney had runners at second and third in the top of the second, and were unable to bring them around. And that was a good pitch, and that was a good swing. So that's fouled back, and we'll just stay where we were at 0-2 in the count. As Haddock, after they recovered the foul ball, gets back in here, is all set to go. Woodruff, they're pretty comfortable pace pitching, not too fast, not too slow, and that hit the batter, yeah, so they don't have to hustle Schuldeis down there. That hit the batter, Haddock, and that will put runners at first and second. So a walk and a hit batter, and now Sorelli up with MSJ looking at a 2 base runners on and nobody out situation. And as they usually do, they're going to bring a courtesy runner out for the pitcher for MSJ. No matter who the pitcher is, Coach Carter usually brings out a courtesy runner. And I'm not going to, I've guessed wrong all year who they bring out. So I'll have to wait till I see his jersey number, but there is a courtesy runner there. And that's going to be Champagne, Will Champagne, number 12. So the courtesy runner in, Champagne, and Schuldeis is at second, and now the pitch on the way with 2 on and nobody down here in the second inning. And Sorelli will reach on that outside corner and follow the ball into the screen. It'll be picked up and recovered by the catcher, Scott Williams, and he'll toss it back out to Chad Woodruff, the pitcher. And this is a good time to remind you that every Saturday, starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Tommy Leopold, the program director down at Channel 15, loads up the server with all the sporting events for that week and plays games of the week. And I don't believe that's going to be playable. I don't think you can get to it. Nope. Yeah, it was in play in foul territory, but Crandall just couldn't get to it, and so it'll just be a foul ball strike. Yes, if you turn the TV on Saturday at 4 o'clock on Channel 15, you will see local sports programming, and you will see it. He usually runs it right to the church services in the morning. I mean, so you can catch up on a lot of local sports every Saturday. So Sorelli with those 2 strikes, that's got a chance. They'll be at least the lead runner. They get 1, and they'll eat the ball. Yeah, smart play. Very smart play. Don't push your luck. They got the out at second. Runner Schuldeis does go to third, and on a fielder's choice, Sorelli will be on at first base. So he hits into a force out. I'm just trying to get the number down because Hughes ended up with the ball, so it must be 4-6. So Rich Cussell up, and Cussell's had some very, very big, timely hits this year for MSJ. And see if we can deliver one right here with a runner at third. That'll be a ball. So Woodruff trying to work out a little bit of a pickle here for Poultney in the second inning. Sorelli that time stayed at first base. Perfect situation to send the runner on the seal from first to second with a runner at third. Tell you what, I'm not sure if that was intentional on Sorelli's part or not, but he just got back. That was a close play. He actually got froze in an upright position, and I don't know if he was thinking about taking off to second or if he just got fooled on the move by Woodruff. That was a pretty nifty move by the pitcher, Woodruff. Yeah, and they'll concede the base. I have mixed emotions about that, especially so early. We're only in the second inning. Takes away the conventional double play, takes away the force out. And Cussell now with 2 runners in scoring position. And I'll tell you that outfield playing very deep right now. Oh, you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to barehand the ball and going to come home with it And in the end, he ends up with nobody out. The run does score. Runners at the corners right now. As Scholdice came in, it was contact. They were gone on contact. So Nolan Rhodes up now, the center fielder. He represents the number 8 spot in this order with 1 run in and 1 out. MSJ on their home field up that 1-0 score. And I don't know. I'd have to talk to Woodruff, the pitcher, but I think he was trying to get to the ball, barehand it, and flip it to home base. It would have been a brutally tough play to go to first base with the way it was hit so slow and where it ended up being on the field. Yeah, and he'll see Williams fake the throw down to second, trying to get the runner from third to release, but he didn't. So now we have runners back at second and third for MSJ with the 1 out. On deck will be Eric Ladebush, and Ladebush, out of that number 9 spot in the order, has been producing big hits for MSJ. You see Rhodes trying to hold back as long as he could on that breaking ball right there. He'll foul it out of play for an 0-2 count. So we'll just reset. 1-0, 1 out. Second and third for MSJ, and that's going to be fouled down the third baseline. So Rhodes will just head back to the batter's box, and they get the ball to Woodruff. Can also invite you to watch Channel 15 Sports Beat every Monday afternoons at 4:30, Tuesday afternoons at 5:30, and Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Oh, great pitch. Took that with 2 strikes on him for the second out. That's a big get right there. Yeah, and I got to tell you also that the Crawley Road Race coming up June 8th from Proctor to Rutland. That's always a cool event. That's a blast to go downtown Rutland and watch that. Now the kids 1 mile run downtown, 8 o'clock Sunday, and that'll be a strike call right there to Ladebush. So MSJ on the verge of just getting 1 run out of this whole ordeal, having runners to second and third with 1 down. Now they have second and third, 2 down. Ladebush, that's going to be hit to Hughes. He's pretty solid at short, and they'll get it. They'll come down on the bag, and MSJ will have a 1-0 lead at the end of 2 innings of play over Poultney. The 3rd inning, the first pitch will be called a strike at the knee, is Hadaka. We'll look at the top of the order for the 2nd time now with Davenport, Pryor, and Hughes to up. Teeter is in the cleanup spot. And boy, he fooled him on the breaking ball. He just had him so far out in front of it. I'm just playing my camera today. It's got a mind of its own today. I guess it happens with these things. It's old. And that will be a ball inside. So with a 1-2 count, like I said, MSJ picking up the 1 run in the bottom of the 2nd. We're in the top of the 3rd. Poultney, 2nd time through the order. We'll see if they make any adjustments to Willie Attica and vice versa. The pitcher adjusting to the hitters. And that is a very good defensive swing. He got fooled on the pitch. That might have been a strike for strike 3. He reached out and just fouled it off. And don't forget, also coming up, gosh, it's not that far away, but mid-June starts American Legion Post 31 baseball action right here at St. Peter's Field and also on Channel 15. That's going to be the 2nd base. McCormick will stay down on the ball, throw to first, and they'll retire the leadoff batter on a 4-3 ground out. And I failed to mention, but last time Davenport was up, he grounded out to 3rd base, Sorelli. So he's grounded out twice today. Now Nick Pryor up, he popped a little blooper up on the infield. Remember the pitcher, Hadaka, so he flied out to the pitcher back in the 1st inning. Now Hadaka with that 1 strikeout coming back in the 2nd. That's strike 1. As it goes back into the screen, it will be picked up by Ryan Carter, handed back to his pitcher. And he'll pitch from being up in the count at 0-1. Just like to also say what a good job. I just finished covering the AAU Thunderbirds Buggiani Girls Basketball Tournament 2008, and excellent event. It went over well. There were so many gyms filled with so many games going on, but you know what really impressed me was I had to go to the mall a couple different times during the weekend, and they were packed with AAU players and families who were killing time between their games. They were out shopping and helping out the economy and filling up the mall. And then also when you drive by, the Holiday Inn had signs up for the AAU tournament, and as all the hotels, because all these players and families that come here have to stay somewhere. And I'm sure they bought gasoline for their cars here. And I mean, it was just a great event, and a great event for the community. And some great basketball was played. And hats off to the whole Thunderbird Association and committee for pulling off such a well-organized tournament. And that should lead right into my thanking MSJ's community for allowing me to videotape their sports and then put it on public access television. It's greatly appreciated by the community. And I think he did go. They're just trying to find the ball. They'll throw to first and get him. So they'll have the second. Hanukkah will have his second strikeout of the game. And it's also the second out of the inning. And Kurt Hughes up. He walked. Remember, he did a good at bat, and he was very patient, and he worked a walk-off from Willie Hanukkah. And I also like to welcome the viewers in the Poultney area to Munger Vision. That breaking ball broke too early, never reached the plate, and that's an easy one to call. That's a ball. Again, Vic Regenbald behind the plate, doing the balls and strikes. Craig Pettis out there, umpire in the field. They've done an excellent job. We're in the third inning. Comfortable day, a little bit cool, but comfortable. And that is going to be a no doubt about it base hit. That thing got through the hole. And Kurt Hughes tagged it for a base hit. So he'll be on base twice here. He's been up twice, walked once. And now with that single, the only problem is each time he got up, there were 2 outs. So Owen Teeter up, he flied out to the left fielder, Cussell. So Poultney trying to get a little 2-out magic going here and get a run in. They're down 1-0. Now that was pretty big at this point in the ball game, that bottom half of the second, when MSJ had 1 run in, runners at second and third, and just 1 out, and they were unable to get another run in on that whole situation. Here's the move to first. He'll just lob it over, and Schuldice with the grab. You can tell with the leg kick when he's going to bring the ball over to first base. So they'll look in now, and Haddock again with that left-handed advantage, looking right over at the base runner. That time he just did that little snap throw without breaking set. And don't forget the count is 1 ball, no strikes, as Hughes had that 2-out single. That's going to be back, and Haddock will pick it up, spin, fire, and that's the inning. They'll strand Hughes again, and we'll have a 1-0 lead for MSJ going into the bottom of the third over Poultney. So Woodruff will face the top of the order here in the third, Colin McCormick, just as Haddock had to face the top of the order for Poultney in the third inning. And I can tell you McCormick walked in the first inning and was thrown out trying to steal second later in that whole sequence of what unfolded in that first inning, and then pitching the dirt for a ball. Woodruff from the full windup, and that's going to be down to short. And again, Hughes gets a little bad hop there, but he's very calm. He'll throw it away this time. He'll be out of play, and so MSJ will get McCormick over at second base because of the error at shortstop. So they'll get the leadoff batter on with nobody out, obviously, and he'll be at second base, and he has very good speed. So that ball hit right on the seam of the dirt and the grass and took a bad hop to Hughes, and then he just never did recover and make a good throw. And that'll bring up Ryan Gilbert. He popped out to the center fielder, Bergen, back in the first inning. And again, MSJ getting their second look through the lineup now at the pitcher, Woodruff. So Chad Woodruff got a little bit of a task ahead of him here since the leadoff runner's on at second base with nobody out. We'll force him to go back to the stretch, and also he's going to be looking at some pretty good hitters with Gilbert, Carter, and Schuldice, and even Haddock with the possibility coming up. So Woodruff will float that one in again. He'll be down in the count now at 2 balls and no strikes. MSJ, like I said, with big wins, league wins over Mount Anthony here, Brattleboro here, and Hartford here. That's going to be the third base. He'll look the runner back. He'll turn. It's a long throw, and he'll get it. Nice job defensively at third base. That's the way you're supposed to make the play. That was Owen Teeter over there. Yeah, he made sure he looked the runner back and then made a good throw to first. So it's one out with Ryan Carter up. He flied out to the right fielder, who I believe to be Dick Ferguson. Not that you want to do it. First base is open. McCormick's down at second. Carter, the catcher today, has pitched outstanding baseball this season for MSJ. That's going to be a wild pitch that'll allow McCormick to get on down into third base, and ball recovered and thrown back out to Woodruff now. So you got to imagine on a fly ball that leaves the infield there. He'll be tagging on the play and sending McCormick's 1-0 MSJ. We're in the bottom of the third. They've got the lead over Poultney. They got their only run so far to this point in the ball game in the second inning. That'll miss high for a ball. Yes, MSJ had the lead on the road in Bennington at MAU and couldn't hold the lead. They had the lead late in the game against Brattleboro and couldn't hold the lead. So those are big crucial losses, seriously. 3-0 to Carter and Schuldice on deck. And that one will get called a strike. So Carter taking all the way with a 3-0 count. Woodruff. That'll be a ball. Nice stop by Williams. And that'll put runners at the corners. And Schuldice up. He walked and scored the game's only run. I was waiting to see if they're going to come out with a courtesy runner for Carter, the catcher, but they are not. They flashed him some signs. And Schuldice now with Haddock coming up on deck. Woodruff with a pretty decent move over to first base. Let's see if he'll make the throw. He will not. Carter wasn't going, and they are holding Carter on defensively over there at first base with Mike Crandall. So Woodruff trying to work out of this third inning. His team down by 1. And Carter is going, and they are going to throw down, and they got him. They got him for the second time. Williams and Hughes click on that throw out. Yeah, and that Coach Carter talking to his son, Ryan Carter, and I got to agree with him. If he slides, he's safe. If he walks in like that without the slide, he's out. So that changes the complexion all of a sudden very quickly here. That's 2 outs now, runner at third, and Schuldice looking for a clutch hit now with 2 down. He followed, you see Schuldice follow that pitch all the way over the strike zone and nick the corner, and that'll be a strike called. 2 balls, 1 strikes, 2 down now. And McCormick, remember, he led the inning off by getting on second base because of an error, and beautiful hitting by Schuldice. He'll have an RBI, so he has scored a run and he has driven in a run, and you couldn't have a better piece of hitting than that. It was the same pitch, that outside soft breaking ball, and he just reached out, extended his arms, and went with it. Great pitch, actually, or hit. Great hit. And that will bring up Willie Haddock. He was hit by a pitch his only time up. Same scenario. They'll hold the runner on at first base. That opens up the hole between first and second for the left-handed hitter to pull the ball through. And pitch coming in will be in the dirt, and it'll be stopped by Williams. Good job by Williams. Scott Williams behind the plate for Poultney. As we are at 2-0 MSJ in the third, the bottom of the third to be exact. And you are watching Munger Vision. Or actually can be listening to it also. That looks like Bergen's got it, and that's the inning. The Mounties pick up 1 more run. We'll go to the 4th. Mounties up 2. So a big change here in the 4th inning. Willie Haddock playing first base, and Bill Schuldice has gone to the mound. He's going to pitch here in the 4th for Coach Ryan Carter. Now, I've seen Bill pitch last year and actually did a pretty good job. I was just surprised by the move. I don't know why I was surprised by the move. Nobody tells me what the game plan is, and they shouldn't, but Hanukkah went 3 innings, and now Schuldice, and he'll get a strike on that pitch. 2-1 to count. Bill was throwing those first couple of pitches pretty quick as far as catching the ball and throwing the ball. He's got to kind of develop a pattern here of a controlled rhythm. That will make it a 2-2 count. Yeah, I seen Schuldice at the catcher spot at first base, and I remember, I can't quite put my finger on which game it was last year, but I taped it. He pitched it in it, so. And the batter, I forgot to mention, is the catcher, Scott Williams, who has thrown 2 runners out today trying to steal second base. So Williams will go down on strikes. He'll have to throw down on a drop strike 3, and then Schuldice will start off with the K. Williams has made his contribution today with that being able to throw runners out, trying to steal. Prior to that, he had singled. Williams had singled, so he's 1 for 2 today. Now Chad Woodruff up to pitch here, and he struck out back in a second. This is his second at bat, but he's facing a new pitcher, so it's just like learning all over again from that first at bat. And I'll tell you what, Schuldice, for a big guy, got some pretty quick feet to get out of the way of that stinger up the middle. As Woodruff will have a solid single up the middle, and that happens with just 1 out. Now Michael Crandall up, he reached on an error back in the second inning. We're in the top of the 4th, scheduled for 7. Poultney and MSJ with the Mounties up 2-0 here. A run in the second and a run in the third. That's going to be a foul ball. That Mike Sorelli will hustle over there and scoop it, but that's going to be a foul ball, and it'll just be a strike, and they'll send Woodruff back down to first base, and they'll get the hitter back in the box, which is Crandall. I have it as Nate Loomis on deck. That's unofficial. And what happened there is that was a ball. It bent, but it bent around the plate and didn't nick any of the corner. And I'll just leave things up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Schuldice got to make a little wardrobe adjustment here. And the big guy all set, number 7, a senior, one of the captains out there for MSJ, was part of that championship hockey team. Oh, through the high heater, Bill did right by him. So Schuldice up in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's had a strikeout, and he's given up a single, and he's working at the bottom of the order here for Poultney. Came back with the curveball, and he hung it, and that's going to be a base hit all the way out to Cussell. He'll get the ball in, so runners at first and second on a couple well-hit singles here by the Poultney Blue Devils. And that will bring up the DH, Nate Loomis, who grounded out to Colin McCormick at second base his only time up. And I just saw his jersey number. That is number 10, and that is Nate Loomis. So Schuldice working from the stretch and a little bit of a jam. Whoa, man. He had his hacks at that one. That was a big old swing and a strike called on the miss. And that's going to stay on the infield, and that won't allow the runners to move up. See the catch by McCormick, and that's a big out right there, out number 2, because like I said, the runners had no chance to advance on that infield fly. So McCormick will make the grab for the second out, and Will Bergen up now. He flied out to Nolan Rhodes in center field back in the second inning. And that was against Willie Hanukkah, though. Hanukkah went 3 innings, didn't give up a run, had 2 strikeouts. He's playing first base defensively. I don't think Willie had a injury or an arm problem. I just would assume, making a conjecture here, that he was only slated to go 3 innings in this non-league game. Save some innings for later in the week. Like I said, MSJ with 3 games this week. And that's a strike called. So Schuldice looking for his second strikeout of the inning, which will also end this inning. He'll come to the plate, and that's going to come back to Schuldice. He'll make the grab, run toward first, underhanded, and that's going to be the inning. And Schuldice will leave it at 2-0 MSJ going into the bottom of the 4th. And Poultney right in the ball game, just down 2 runs in the 4th. Woodruff on the mound, Sorelli at the plate. He reached on a fielder's choice back in. That pitch is high. back in the second inning. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Again, scheduled for 7, looking like we're going to go 7, and that's good. You know, baseball season is way too short in the state of Vermont to have mercy rule games, especially when it isn't raining, windy, snowing, or wicked cold out, which might as well play all 7 innings. The exception being if the announcer's really, really hungry, really, really tired, or it's really, really cold. Or, like during Legion Ball, if it's really, really hot, then they can go ahead and shorten the game up. Other than that, play ball. So a 1-2 count on Mike Sorelli. Third baseman, a senior out there. Rich Cussell to follow, and Nolan Rhodes. Well, at least that's the 3 due up here for MSJ in the bottom of the 4th. Woodruff's pitched pretty darn good, actually. Well, that stayed in fair territory. And yeah, safe. Even with the good stretch over there by Crandall and a nice play over there by Owen. Teeter at third base. Sorelli just too fast. So he'll have an infield single. And that'll bring up Cussell, who reached on an error back in the second inning. Now MSJ's tried running the bases here in this ball game against Scott Williams, the catcher for Poultney, and Williams has won the battle. He has thrown out 2 base runners. There have been bases taken, but they have been non-contested bases, which actually in the stat sheet don't go down as steals. But when they have thrown down, Williams has been up to the task. And that just kind of flopped it in there for a ball. Again, you're at the critical stages, the 4th and 5th inning, 6th inning, where you're only down to 2 runs, and you gotta kind of hold the lead at that right now if you're Poultney. From the stretch, Chad Woodruff threw a breaking ball that didn't break. And that'll go to 2 balls now in the count. Again, that website for PEGTV is www.pegtv.com. That's PEGTV. And man, they got all kinds of cool stuff on there besides the schedule and other information about the channels themselves. Swing and a miss for a strike. They have video on demand, and you just click onto it and you can watch talk shows, parades, music specials, games, whatever you want right there on your computer. Awesome, awesome update. Nice feature. And that will be ball right there. So it goes to a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Yeah, like I said, Woodruff's done all right. He's been extended a little bit in the 2nd and 3rd inning, but he's been able to really get out without a lot of damage done to him. But at some point, if you keep getting in a pickle, you're going to get in trouble. And right now, with that walk, he's got runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Nolan Rhodes, the center fielder, up. He struck out his only at bat. That came back in the 2nd inning. Defensively, Crandall is still at first base. Davenport still at 2nd. Hughes is at short, and Teeter is at 3rd. Williams behind the plate. Pryor, Bergen, and Ferguson, the outfield. They show bunt. Now, whether or not they stay bunt is a whole other deal. That is a risky play right there. They waited and waited and waited, and Sorelli kept teasing them. And they ended up trying to put a lead on the ball. So Rhodes will get set again and see if he'll show bunt again. No, he's swinging away, and that's outside. You see the call from the umpire. Been a very, very well umpired game by both umps behind the plate and in the field. And hey, don't forget, man, American Legion Post 31 baseball action right here at St. Peter's Field all summer long, and also on PEGTV Channel 15. Now, so Woodruff becoming a little more deliberate between pitches here as the game progresses on. And again, that'll be outside. He'll give the ump a look in there, but those are pretty much good calls, yeah. So 2 balls, no strikes. 1st and 2nd, and not a place you want to start getting wild. Good runners at 1st and 2nd, and nobody down. Good job by Williams, and that will run it to a 3-0 count. And like I said, number 9 hitter on deck will be Erica Ladebush. And the outfield, and it could just be the way I look at it, but boy, they're playing deep. No, he took it all the way, and that'll be ball 4. He actually started to show bunt, and it's going to be a bases loaded And this is the makings of a big inning. Bases loaded and nobody out. And we're going to have a visit to the mound from the head coach. So they stick with Woodruff, and everybody's had their strategies. Coach Carter's talked about tagging up on fly balls. And Woodruff will start off with that breaking ball. It's an all or nothing thing with the breaking ball. He'll get the benefit of the doubt right there and get the call, and so it'll be an 0-1 count to Ladebush. And man, see, to me it looks like the same pitch, but it'll be a 1-1 count. Ladebush grounded out to the shortstop Hughes back in the second inning. Again, neither team really flying through the order here. That time it was a fastball. He elevated it, but it stayed too high, and Ladebush, good discipline right there. Didn't chase it out of the strike zone, and that'll make it a 2-1 count, and there is nowhere at all to put Ladebush on if they walk him. I mean, obviously he'll go to first, but it'll drive a run in, or walk a run in. That's a pitch that was right there. He pulled the trigger on it and fouled it back, and a 2-2 count with nobody down and the bases loaded. You got to figure a ball hit on the infield if you're not near enough a bag. You got to decide, do I go home for the force out? There's a force out at any base, or do you try to turn a double play and concede the run? This is pretty shallow, and Bergen's got momentum going forward. Oh, and he misplayed it. That's going to bring in at least one run. Sorelli will score, and the runner goes to third base. And what happened here is Bergen was trying to time his run in to catch the ball and be able to throw with his momentum going forward. So Sorelli will score the third run of the inning. Ladebush will be on at first base. And that'll bring up the top of the order, McCormick. McCormick has walked and reached on an error. Remember, it was Hughes that the ball was hit to at shortstop, bobbled it and threw the ball away, and McCormick ended up going to second base. Yeah, I'm not sure. Craig walked over. I was doing my book work, and he was over on the third baseline, and then he went back, assumed his position on the infield, and yeah, so Colin McCormick with the bases not loaded. Yeah, he's as confused as I am, yeah. That's an out, so I'm just looking. Well, I got to resort stuff because I've lost track of the ball game, and it happens. It happens. I lost track of Cussell's who I lost. But Sorelli scored. That's the only run on the board. And there's nobody else out. I don't know. I'll have to wait. So Gilbert up, I believe. Now see, the scoreboard's in sync with me. 2 outs. 3 runs. And that's going to be the backstop. And Ladebush will go down to third, and McCormick will go to second on that wild pitch. And there's 2 down, and I'm looking for the lost Mountie. That's a good piece of hitting. That's going to drive in both runs. Here comes McCormick, and that was a great piece of hitting. Gilbert will have 2 RBIs on that single. Yeah, and I'm just still thinking out loud up here of where I've lost track of my book. Ryan Carter up. He is flied out and he is walked, and he has been thrown out trying to steal a base. And that's what's getting me, is the scoreboard that the fans see is in sync with my book at 5-0 MSJ in the 4th. Gilbert took off, and I mean he took off before a pitch by Woodruff. I mean, not even a windup, so he'll be down at second base. So he's going to have a base hit, and that'll drive in the run. You can see them retrieving the ball, and there's Gilbert just coming in. So Carter will have an RBI. So on a solid shot up the middle, Carter will drive in the 6th run of the ball game. So between the number 2 and number 3 hitter, they've got 3 of the 6 RBIs. Now Bill Schuldice up. He had an RBI back in the third. He had an RBI single as they've broken through here against Woodruff, and they've got 6 runs now in the fourth. And that's going to be a fair ball. They got to make the quick throw, and they'll get them. That's the inning. The Mounties with a 6-0 lead going into the 5th inning over Poultney. On top of the order, Ryan Davenport up. Then that means Nick Pryor will be next, and then Kurt Hughes and Bill Schuldice in his 2nd inning of work. We'll get a ball on that big old curveball. And Schuldice with a strikeout in that 4th inning. He also surrendered a couple base hits, stranded a couple, and MSJ with that 6-0 lead. Gilbert backpedaling, settling, and making the grab this time on the outfield grass for the first out. Now the leadoff batter retired. Poultney's had some opportunities through this ballgame where they had runners in scoring position. Just getting it, did not get that timely hit. And I see somebody warming up in the MSJ bullpen, so we might see another pitcher here before this contest is over. Fastball outside. Nick Pryor up. He struck out his last time up, and he also has popped up to the pitcher, who was Haddock at the time. Haddock started the game with 3 shutout innings. Schuldice came on in the 4th, and he starts his 2nd inning of relief work here. Mounties with 1 run in the 2nd, 1 run in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th. And Schuldice, like I said, we've seen him play defensively at the first baseman's position, behind the plate at the catcher spot, and now he's on the mound getting this call to do some pitching for MSJ, and that'll be a walk. So he'll issue the walk to Pryor. And Zach Richards in the bullpen throwing for MSJ. Kurt Hughes up. He has walked and singled, so he's been on base twice today for the Blue Devils. Obviously in those blue uniforms out in the field. Defensively, and Schuldice now will work from the stretch. Well, he didn't get the call, but he certainly fooled Hughes on that breaking ball as he kind of ducked, thinking it was going to be coming at him, but I think it was a high pitch. I don't think he missed the strike zone as far as left to right. That one just didn't turn over on him, laid flat, and he'll go to 2 balls, no strikes. So I got a feeling, and I could be wrong, that Schuldice is in his last inning of work with the bullpen going to work, and it's not a matter of him pitching good or bad. It's just Coach Carter trying to get people in a game situation so they can experience pitching in a game situation, plus save his starters' arms for later in the week. Like I said, busy week coming up for MSJ. So back-to-back walks, and I think what happened here is Schuldice got a little bit too dependent on the breaking ball. He's got to come back to getting ahead in the count by throwing more often the fastball. Owen Teeter up. He is 0 for 2 today, flied out to left. And that was Cussell that made the grab, and then he grounded out to Haddock, who was the pitcher at the time. Yeah, so another ball, and with 1 down, 2 on, Schuldice having a little wildness here, a little experience with wildness in his pitching. Got to find that strike zone again. He does, and this could be a double play. Oh, they're going to have trouble just getting the 1. McCormick will turn and throw it away. Yeah, so at least 1 run. I'll see if they'll allow the runner to come home from third, because he was en route to third base. No, that's where they're going to hold it up. So the run will come in on the error, but they allow Teeter to go down to second base. Yeah, so Scott Williams up now. He has singled and struck out, and Poultney on the board at 6-1, and they got a chance here to do some damage. You see Carter coming out of a little conference with Schuldice. But again, Poultney right there. They got just a 1 down, runners to second and third, 1 run in. This could be a good comeback inning right here. So Williams, who hit the ball hard in the 2nd inning up there with Crandall on deck, and Poultney making some noise now offensively, getting those breaks and those hits, making contact with the ball. That's a base hit, and that's going to drive at least one, and they're going to hold him at third. The runner already came across the plate, and that's what I was waiting to see. They'll hold him up, so it's 6-2 now. Runners at the corners with one down. As Kurt Hughes comes in to score, Teeter will be held at third, and Williams with an RBI single and also a 2-for-3 day. And I'll bring up the... Actually, I was wrong. It's going to be the pitcher Woodruff up, not Crandall. So Woodruff struck out and singled. So the pitcher Woodruff, Chad Woodruff, coming up. Crandall's the on-deck hitter. I apologize for that. 6-2. Poultney coming back here in the 5th inning. Yeah, they threw to first and he was safe. I missed it because I was just looking up from my scorebook, so you gotta excuse me. Cut me some slack. I'm not sure. Somebody asked for time. Oh, Woodruff, the batter, asked for time, was granted time. And so Schuldice and Kreider will settle on a sign, get set, and pitch will be coming in right now. And again, breaking ball has been flat this inning for Schuldice, but he's been really hanging on it too. And when you get down in that count, the hitter wants to guess. They can sit on a fastball. That's going to be down to Gilbert. He had nothing but trouble with it. He should eat it. Yep. When you see a shortstop run behind or circle around behind the ball like that, he's got a lot of trouble. Run scores, cuts lead in half, 6-3. So that's a couple errors now by Gilbert in the game. A couple errors in this inning by the infield, and Crandall coming up with still just the one out, but a 6-3 ball game, and runners at first and second. But yeah, Gilbert circled behind the ball, then slid in front of it, and I'm just not sure what he was thinking. Oh, great play by Schuldice from his knees. He'll get the out. That's going to be out number 2. And tell you what, he's a big guy, Bill is. He's a big, strong guy. That was quite an agile play right there. So that's a 1-3 ground out, but with an explanation point right there. Holy crap, that was a good play. Now Loomis up. He's 0 for 2 today. He is grounded out to second and flying out to second. So him and McCormick for MSJ have been very busy. Now they are going to the book. Looks like they're going to have a pinch hitter. Now the only guy I have in as a sub is Ethan Bruce. He wears number 22, and I can't see this young man's jersey number yet. But I would have to assume, since there's only one sub on my scorebook, which came right from the dugout, that this is Ethan Bruce. So Poultney with a very good top of the 5th, and it's not over yet. The 5th inning, they got runners at second and third, and that is Bruce. I saw his jersey number. It is number 22. So the pinch hitter falling off the first ball. Yeah, a base hit here could cut the lead to just 1. So Poultney again, big moment in the ball game. And Bruce, left-handed batter, facing the right-handed pitching Schuldice, and he is going to get it to McCormick. It was well hit, but they will get the out and strand 2, but they did some damage. Poultney down on just 6-3. Nick Pryor is taking the mound now for Poultney, and he'll be facing, should be Willie Haddock up there, and he will swing through it for a strike on the first pitch from Pryor. So Woodruff has gone 4 full innings, surrendered 6 runs, not all of them earned. And overall, he didn't pitch bad at all. They had a couple breakdowns behind him defensively. That's a slow grounder to Woodruff, the pitcher, who's gone to second, and they just did get him. Again, they didn't charge the ball, and that made the play closer than it had to be, but the first batter that Pryor will pitch to will ground out 4-3. And there was one more defensive change to mention. Davenport, who was at second, has gone out to left field now. Now Mike Sorelli up for MSJ, the third baseman. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 6-3 MSJ over Poultney. Poultney with 3 runs in the top of the 5th. MSJ with a run in the second, a run in the third, and 4 in the 4th. Oh, Zach Richards coming up to hit for Sorelli. So they'll send back-to-back left-handed batters up against Pryor. Good pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. So Zach Richards will be down in the count 0-1. Now, last game I did here, home game, Zach Richards had a beautiful pinch hit single. That ball didn't break, and Richards laid off it, and it'll be a 1-1 count now. Again, a little bit of a breeze blowing, but nothing really should affect the play on the field. And that breaking ball just too soft, too gentle, didn't get in there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. So there is nobody on base for MSJ here in the bottom of the 5th. There is one down. Cussel's due up next for MSJ, and that will be low for a ball. Not really throwing right now, more aiming the ball as prior. He's got to kind of let his arm flow, let his arm relax and whip it. Let it use the whole length of the arm. That was a good pitch. So that'll make it a full count to Zach Richards, who's hitting for Mike Sorelli. So Richards with a 3-2 count will get the walk. Good eye. They threw him a 3-2 breaking ball, and that'll become a walk. And now Rich Cussel. I gotta believe that's Rich. Looks like him. Yep, he'll step in from the right side. Look down to Coach Carter, get the sign flash to him, and he'll be set to go. Zach Richards over at first base, getting about a 4 to 5 step lead off the bag, and that'll be lifted. Davenport seems to have a beat on it. Comes in and makes a great grab. Great grab. Great catch by Davenport. He just accelerated the last 10 feet and just made a nice diving catch, sliding catch. That's a big play. That's a second out, and a runner can advanced. So he just got put from second to left field and made a major impact in the ball game right there. Nolan Rhodes up for MSJ, and 2 down now. And that came inside and low, and will be a ball. Oh, it's very important for Poultney to hold MSJ here. Poultney just came back with their first 3 runs of the ball game to cut the lead in half at 6-3. You don't want to give any runs back now. That's going to be pulled foul past Teeter at third base. Yeah, I mean, because we're in the 5th, so I mean, you're looking at a 3-run deficit and only 6 outs left to work with if you're Poultney. That's why it's very big to get, just like in basketball, the terminology. You're looking for a defensive stop here by Poultney in this inning. And like I said, Nick Pryor out there, he's relieved Chad Woodruff. And he's pitching from the stretch. The righty will get that down to third, and he's going to come up and throw and safe. Now they're going to say he beat it out, and that will be Rhodes, to his credit, just the way he hustled it down the line. You know, that's just not giving up and assuming anything. He just moved it down the line. Richards ends up at second base, so first and second for Eric Ladebush, or at least it's scheduled to be Eric Ladebush. That prolongs the inning now. Boy, as a pitcher, that you got to scratch your head. You did your job. They'll fake the move and the throw. You did your job to get that third out, and now you've given them an extra out to work with that error. That pitch called a ball, and the outfield's taken about, oh gosh, I'd say about 10 to 12 steps in on Ladebush. You're straight away, but in. Well, I tell you what, Ladebush got around on that, and that is a fair ball. There's going to be at least 1 run coming in. Richards will come in and score, and they're going to hold Nolan Rhodes at third. And I'll tell you what, from that number 9 spot in the order, Ladebush has done that all season long consistently. He has really hit the ball and hit it well. And you know what I got to tell you? How big is that error now? Because they had the out, and now the error prolonged the inning, and Ladebush able to deliver the run, an unearned run. Now the top of the order in Colin McCormick. And McCormick has scored a run today, so it goes 7-3 MSJ, 2 down, and bottom of the 5th, and Poultney got really bear down here and get that third out, minimize the damage here. And that's going to be out of play, way out of play toward Otter Creek for a 1-1 count. Ryan Gilbert will be on deck, and if they can extend it far enough, they'll get to Carter and Schuldeis, and that's what Poultney wants to avoid, is to have that happen with the men on bases. is to bring up Carter or Schuldice or both. So Pryor. Yeah, everybody just kind of scrambling around, nobody throwing to second base, and all that wasted energy for nothing. Big lead by strike called right there. Big lead by Laddebush, but it's not really going to help him much because Rhodes at third, not moving too far off the bag down at third base. So with a 2-strike count, McCormick set. That'll be high for a ball. That'll run it to a 2-2 count now. Hope you've enjoyed all the baseball and softball and AAU basketball action brought to you by Munger Vision. Big pitch with 2 down. Fouls it off. So we'll stay with that 2-2 count on that fisted foul ball. You got Sports Beat coming up down the road with Ernie D. Gregorio, former Celtics great in Providence College, great player. Took time out from his clinic he put on here for the local youth and took time out, sit down and talk with me on Sports Beat. Got him looking. That's going to end the inning. They do pick up a run. No, 7-3 MSJ going into the 6th. This is Bill Schuldice coming out to start the 6th inning for MSJ. Remember they had action in the bullpen last inning, but you're going to stick with Schuldice. Will Bergen up. He's 0 for 2. He's flying out to center field to Nolan Rhodes, and that'll be a strike called. And he's also grounded out to the pitcher, who was Schuldice back in the 4th. Haddock started the ballgame, went 3 innings, didn't give up a run. Swinging strike on that fastball. And quickly to an 0-2 count. Top of the order sitting on deck, and Ryan Davenport. And Haddock is still at first base defensively now since Schuldice is coming to pitch, and boy, just did miss. Stayed inside too far. McCormick's at second base defensively. Gilbert is at shortstop. Sorelli is at third. Ben Sexton's in right field now, number 45 for MSJ. Rhodes is in center, and it's Cussell over in right, and this is Rhodes. Got a good beat on it, makes the grab for the first out. So they'll retire the leadoff batter here in the 6th inning for Poultney. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to score, but you usually have better innings defensively if you can get that first batter out. And Davenport up now. 0 for 3 at the plate, but made that spectacular sliding catch in left field. And he's grounded out to third, grounded out to second, and flied out to short. That's going to be a foul ball out of play. So it'll be a strike 1 on the batter. Nick Pryor, who's now the pitcher, he's the on-deck hitter for Poultney. They're in, obviously, the blue uniforms. They're the Blue Devils out there. I'm saying the field defensively. And Schuldice fooled him, and he just could not keep his weight back on that pitch. And he'll swing through it for strike 2. Yeah, he stayed back on that one, and Gilbert seems to have a beat on it, and he'll make the grab on the outfield grass for out number 2. So Schuldice having a much better inning here. He kind of lost his control a little bit in the 5th, and that got him in trouble. And he's got 2 down here with no damage being done so far. And Pryor up, and he is popped up to the pitcher, Haddock. He has struck out to Haddock, and he walked and scored his last time up. That was against Schuldice. And that pitch a ball. Just looking for a 1-2-3 and work here, and that will be a strike called. Brought it down a little bit, and that was the difference in the call. Now make it a 1-1 count now. MSJ scored a run in every inning except the 1st. That's ball inside. They had a run in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. And Poultney in the 5th scored all 3 of the runs. Oh, that hurts. I don't care what they tell you about paddings. That makes your teeth vibrate. That came right off on a foul ball and hit Carter in the face mask. He's going out and talk to Schuldice. And yeah, he really could have some business with him, but this is mostly just give him a little time, let his eyes clear the water out and kind of recompose himself, shake the cobwebs out. That's conjecture, but having been hitting face masks like that many times, and then you come out to talk to your pitcher who's got 2 outs, nobody on, throwing extremely well, the 2-2 count, that would probably was a little more letting that sting go away. Or I could be completely wrong. That's going to be down to McCormick, and looks like a 1-2-3 inning coming up. It is. Hanukkah with a nice stretch. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Mounties up 4. Nick Pryor in the bottom of the 6th. He's going to be looking at number 2, 3, 4 portion of the MSJ lineup, and this is a dangerous spot for him. Don't want the game to get away right now. You're still within striking distance at 7-3. And that's going to be a great catch on the back. That was short hopped on the backhand by Hughes, and just that was so much harder of a play than he made it look. Phenomenal play, and Gilbert will be out on that 6-3 ground out. Ryan Carter up now. He had an RBI single his last time up with Bill Schuldice on deck for MSJ. So Nick Pryor, who came on in the 6th, does have a strikeout in the ball game. And he actually should have been out of that last inning without a run being scored. There was an error that prolonged the inning behind him defensively, and that allowed for the big hit by Laddebush to drive in a run. And that's going to be caught by Woodruff. I had to wait and see because everybody was kind of converging on it, but Woodruff did a nice job of finding the ball, tracking the ball, and then catching the ball for 2 outs now. So very quickly going through the order here in the 6th. Schuldice up. He's got an RBI today. He's also scored a run. So Schuldice standing up there with nobody on base, and 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. 7-3. MSJ with the lead over Poultney. And that'll be a ball. Been a good game. I mean, you know, each team's made some mistakes, but they've also done some things very well. It's competitive. It's 7-3. It's a close game, and you know, it hasn't rained, hasn't snowed, the wind hasn't been howling. Oh, that's a tough pitch to take, but it was called a ball, and it was high, and it's 2 balls, no strikes now. You know, if Schuldice does get on, Willie Hanukkah is the on-deck hitter for the Mounties, if they happen to get that far. And Schuldice this time did chase that high outside pitch, and he'll follow it off toward Otter Creek, and he'll make it a 2-1 count. Yeah, you got American Legion post-31 baseball coming up for you. Mid-June they start. You really should get down and catch some of that action live. It's good baseball. For number 1, it's really good baseball. But number 2, it's for the it's the American Legion. And number 3, it's a good place to hang out in the summertime here at St. Peter's Field. And Schuldice, oh, he's got his swing down. Yeah. Tell you what, that's 2 hits today for Schuldice, and he is just gone with the pitch. He had a beautiful, smooth swing going. All of a sudden, I developed a stutter after 50 years. But, yeah, he's done a good job. Now, Willie Hanukkah does get up. And the last thing Pryor and Poultney need to do right now is to give up a 2-out run. Like I said, they've already got their work cut out with needing 4 runs to at least tie this ball game. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorelli's coming out on deck, which is correct by my book. Hanukkah's at the plate. Oh, we're getting a courtesy runner. Okay. All right, I'm back in the ball game. I forgot Schuldice is the pitch now, and they'll bring out the courtesy runner for him. And that looks like Bizon. I believe that's going to be John Bizon. It is, number 8. So Bizon will head out there, and he'll become the base runner for Bill Schuldice. Yeah, I mean, Coach Carter usually courtesy runs for his catchers, and always usually definitely does for his pitchers, and that's what he did right here with Schuldice being the pitcher now. Don't forget, Bill started off the game at first base defensively. He's gone in now to get some work on the mound. He's done a very good job. And so Hanukkah will lay off that pitch. Now behind the plate, Scott Williams, don't forget his work earlier in the contest when it was really, it's tight now, but it was even tighter earlier score-wise. He threw 2 runners out trying to steal second base. Those are big. Those are big outs to get. Yeah, they faked the throw over to first, and Bizon back. Now, I got to tell you, I'm a big proponent of you got 2 outs, the guy at first, worry about the guy at the plate, because that's your 3rd out, and you get out of the inning. That's a foul ball strike back into the screen. So he'll go to a 1-2 count now on Hanukkah. Oh, I started to tell you, there's nothing like a nice summer evening. Come on down, 5:30 start time. Yeah, there's bleachers and stuff. Bring a lawn chair if you want. And, Kill a couple hours, watch good baseball action, support your community. That's going to be out of play. I'm not going to follow it because they're not going to get to it. It'll be a foul ball strike, and Bizon will have to go back to first base. Haddock will go back, get in the batter's box, and they'll retrieve the foul ball and give it back to the pitcher Pryor, and we'll just do it again, just for the heck of it. We'll get back in there and do it again. And so, like I said, Pryor, Woodruff didn't pitch bad at all through the first 4 innings, and Pryor hasn't pitched bad. And Poultney, not a bad-looking club at all out there. They got a good coach, Coach Hughes. That's a great job. With 2 strikes, you just don't know. You know, you don't want to be rung up looking at a 3rd strike. And so Haddock, with a very good defensive swing there, will stay alive to swing again. Maybe get a pitch more in to his liking here. And Pryor will get that over, and that's going to be a base hit. That was a great piece of hitting. Davenport will pick the ball up, but again, that pitch was low and outside to Haddock, and he just went with the pitch. That's just smart. That's just good hitting. So with 2 outs, Scholdice and Haddock with back-to-back singles, and that will bring up Sorelli. Now, last time Sorelli was due up, they pinch hit with Richards, so Sorelli back up there now and trying to get some padding on that lead, some insurance runs. It's at 7-3 MSJ in the bottom of the 6th. Now, I caught the plate, but high. Definitely was high. Just about at the letters of Mike Sorelli. Yeah, and Pryor missing high when he misses, and it's his follow-through. He's not actually following through. He's staying too straight up on the pitch, and that's why they're sailing on him. That's a lot of what the follow-through is all about. Your body comes down, the pitch will come down. This looks to be playable by the pitcher Pryor, and Poultney will come up in the 7th, needing 4 runs to tie it. So Scholdice looking to close it out, but he's right at the heart of the order with Kurt Hughes, Owen Teeter, and Scott Williams, the 3 due up, with Woodruff batting in that number 4 spot. That's a strike. There's a change for MSJ defensively out there. Shane Lee, number 1, has gone in to play right field for Coach Glenn Carter. And I believe that is the only change there is. That'll be inside too far, and he actually floated on him, and that'll be a ball. So Scholdice gave up the 3 runs in the 5th. And other than that, pitched very well. And Hughes at the plate, too, is not only a good hitter, but he knows the strike zone, so he makes you throw strikes. And he demonstrated that with his first at bat against Haddock, as he worked it for a walk. And that's going to go to the wall. And you see Shane Lee just getting to it, and Hughes looking at 3rd, taking the corner, heading to 3rd base, and motoring in, and they're going to hold him up at 3rd with a leadoff triple. Well, that was a piece of hitting. Again, pitch was outside, he went with it, and he drove it to have a triple, and Owen Teeter up now. Yeah, I got to meet Hughes when he played for Glenn Carter's Rutland County Royal squad, and actually he was on Sports Beat because I got to interview the entire team, well, 2 years in a row, and plus I covered some Mill River football when he was playing football for Poultney, which I assume he. Yeah, that ate Gilbert. That's the 3rd error on Gilbert that allowed Hughes to score, and that was just, he was in trouble the minute the ball was hit. And I'm not making fun of Gilbert at all, not at all. I'm just making an observation. I'm sure he would agree with it. He was froze in a crouch between charging the ball and backing up on the ball, and the ball played him. And they're going to go Sorelli, and Scholdice will take a breather, and Sorelli's going to come on in, take his warm-up pitches, and he'll try to close this thing out for MSJ. They got the 7-4 lead in the 7th. So Mike Sorelli slides over from 3rd base to take the mound, and he's going to be looking at Scott Williams, who's hit the ball very well today. Williams has got an RBI and a couple singles, and that pitch called a strike. So they went 3 innings with Willie Haddock, and Scholdice came on in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and pitched to 2 batters here in the 7th. He has given up 4 runs. He is responsible for the runner at first base. And here comes Sorelli on the 2nd pitch. That's going to be 1 to first, 2. So Sorelli serves up a double play, and that will make it 2 down here now in the 7th. Yes, sir, they turn that double play. At just the right time, and now Chad Woodruff up with the bases clear, and he's trying to prolong the ball game. If they can get Woodruff, that'll be the ball game for MSJ. They're up 7-4 over Poultney and Sorelli. MSJ again, even on tape delayed. This is a Monday game. They play Wednesday, and then they play Friday. So if Sorelli gets out of it by facing 2 batters, he'll be fine for pitching more innings during the week. They didn't use Ryan Carter at all today, and Haddock didn't really throw a lot of pitches. He only went 3 innings, and I don't think he had any arm trouble. And that is the ball game. So Sorelli comes in, quickly extinguishes the rally, and it'll be an MSJ win 7-4. Congratulations to the Mounties. A very good effort by Poultney in a game that wasn't a beauty, but hey, it was all right. In the words of a Bruce Springsteen lyric from Thunder Road, that's the way to end this broadcast. Hope you get out there and support your student athletes, and always support Munger Vision.